Let's talk about what to expect in a job interview for a marketing role. This can go several different directions depending on the type of company, where you are in the process, who you're interviewing with, what their culture is like, how they interview. But I've found there are two types of interviews that I've encountered as I've looked for marketing roles. One is this kind of like by the book interview where it's a lot of really predictable questions, almost cliche, where you're kind of going through the motions with somebody maybe who hasn't interviewed a lot of people, or they're just not that creative with the process, or maybe they're just bored with it and not excited about it. They also might not have a lot of experience with it. And then there's another type of interview, and this is my favorite, and there's actually a way you can turn an interview into this if you're strategic about it. And that's an interview where it's a lot more open ended questions and a chance for you to get to know the other person and for them to get to know you and for you to figure out if you might be a good fit for the company. And that's, what you want to do really is interview them as much as they're interviewing you. So here's what I like to do. I like to have some things I want to talk about ahead of time related to the role I'm interviewing for. And then when I'm in the interview, I look for opportunities to shift the conversation there. You don't want to totally derail what the person's doing, but what you want to do is look for opportunities in the questions they're asking for you to navigate the interview into a way that plays to your strengths. So, for example, they might ask you a really predictable question like, can you tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult situation? And so this is something you should be ready for. You should have like 3 examples ready for this, and you can tailor them to the specific company that you're interviewing with. But you want to be able to take that kind of predictable question and really showcase your skills. So that's where you can get into, yeah, there was one time where we were faced with needing to generate a lot of revenue quickly at the end of the quarter. And here's the plan I came up with and how I was able to leverage my creativity, because you want to be able to talk about your ideas. And here's how I was able to get the team to come together so that you can show that you're collaborative and a leader. And here's the way we were able to measure our results and report back on what we had done. So it shows not just can you deal with a difficult situation, but you were able to work in all the things that you might be good at, like how creative you are, how you're able to lead a team, and how you're able to come up with a plan that you can then track so you can point back to specific things you did that generated results. So that's just one example of how you can kind of turn an interview into something that allows you to talk about the things you want to talk about. And honestly, these are the things they should want you to be talking about too. Sometimes it can feel like the interviewer's just trying to check a box, and you can navigate them away from that in a polite and nonchalant sort of way.